All right, let's get right into it. Today, we are diving deep into one of the hottest trends in wellness, infrared saunas. You've probably seen them popping up everywhere, right? But beyond the hype, what's actually going on? What does the science say? That's what we're here to figure out.
You know the feeling. You absolutely crush it at the gym, you feel amazing, and then you wake up the next day feeling like you've been hit by a truck. Every muscle just screams at you.
And look, that soreness isn't just a minor annoyance. It can seriously mess with your whole routine. It can kill your motivation and stop you from getting back out there. So what if there was a way to speed up that recovery process?
And that's where the infrared sauna comes in. It's pitched as this amazing recovery tool, but it's not the same as that old-school sauna you might be picturing. The way it creates heat is completely different, and that's really the secret to the whole thing. Okay, think of it like this. A traditional sauna is like an oven. It heats up the air in the box, and then that hot air heats you up. An infrared sauna, on the other hand, is more like feeling the warmth of the sun on your skin. It uses infrared light waves to warm your body directly, from the inside out. It's a totally different kind of heat.
And here's what's really interesting. Look at those temperatures. An infrared sauna operates at a much lower, way more comfortable temperature. But because it's heating you directly, you can still get a really deep sweat going, maybe even more so than in a traditional sauna. You get this deep, penetrating warmth without that overwhelming, I can't breathe feeling.
Okay, so that's the theory. It sounds good, right? But does it actually work when you put it under the microscope? Let's take a look at a real clinical study and see what the data tells us about muscle recovery.
So for this, we're digging into a study published by the National Institutes of Health. Researchers in Finland took a group of serious basketball players, put them through a super tough workout designed to make them sore, and then split them into two groups. One group got to chill in an infrared sauna for 20 minutes, while the other group just rested.
And here are the results 14 hours later. Now check this out. Both groups were a little slower on their sprint times. No huge surprise there. But look at that first line. Explosive jump. The guys who just rested saw their vertical jump drop by 5%, but the group that used the sauna, theirs only dropped by 1.1%. That is a huge difference in keeping that explosive power.
This chart really puts it into perspective. Look at that difference. The athlete who hit the sauna bounced back so much better. If you're an athlete in any sport that relies on quick, powerful movements, that is an absolute game changer.
But okay, what about how they felt? The performance data is one thing, but the feeling of soreness is what really gets to us, right? Well, the passive recovery group rated their soreness at a 5.2 out of 12. The infrared sauna group down at 2.9. That is almost half the soreness. So not only did they perform better, they felt way, way better.
So, let's sum up what this study really tells us. It clearly helped preserve that explosive power and seriously cut down on muscle soreness. The athletes also just felt more recovered. But it's also crucial to see what it didn't do. It didn't seem to impact sprint speed or pure strength, and it didn't change the underlying markers of muscle damage in their blood. But the story doesn't stop with athletes. A lot of the buzz around infrared saunas is about a much broader set of benefits, especially when it comes to things like chronic pain and inflammation.
And this quote gets to the very heart of the idea. It's not just about surface heat. The theory is that this specific type of light gets deep down into your body's tissues, sparking all these tiny metabolic reactions at a cellular level that can help with healing.
And that opens the door to all these other potential benefits. People are looking at it for relief from things like arthritis and chronic back pain. And then there's this incredible finding from a long-term Finnish study, now this was with traditional saunas, that found people who use saunas frequently had a 66% lower risk of dementia. Wild, right? There's still a lot more research to do, but it's pretty exciting stuff.
Okay, so this all sounds fantastic, but you knew there was a but, right? Before you run out and jump into an infrared sauna, there is some really important fine print we need to cover.
Let's just get this one out of the way right now. The whole detox thing. You hear it all the time. Sweat out the toxins. Well, it's mostly a myth. Yes, your sweat contains tiny trace amounts of stuff, but your body's real detox powerhouses are your liver and kidneys. They do the heavy lifting. Sweating feels amazing and cleansing for sure, but it's not cleaning your blood.
And then there are the actual risks. Dehydration is the obvious one. You are going to sweat a lot, so you have to drink a ton of water. Some people are also concerned about EMFs, the electromagnetic fields that the heaters give off. And this is critical. If you are pregnant, trying to conceive, or have any kind of heart condition or blood pressure issues, you absolutely must talk to a doctor first. Non-negotiable.
So, If you are going to try it, here is your simple, safe-use checklist. Number 1, talk to your doctor. Number 2, hydrate like it's your job, before, during, and after. 3, start with short sessions, maybe 10 to 20 minutes. And 4, the most important rule of all, listen to your body. If you feel weird, dizzy, or sick, get out immediately.
All right, we've gone through the hype, we've looked at the actual science, and we've covered the risks. So where does that leave us? What's the final takeaway?
Here's the bottom line. Based on solid clinical evidence, it looks like infrared saunas can be a genuinely useful tool, especially for athletes. They can help you feel less sore and get that explosive power back faster after a tough workout.
And that brings me to one last thought I want to leave you with. That study showed a real, measurable effect on performance. But maybe the most powerful finding was how much better the athletes felt. Their perceived soreness was cut in half. And this is where things get really interesting, right? Because when we feel better, we tend to perform better. So the question is, if a recovery tool makes you feel less pain and more ready to go, does it really matter if the biggest change is happening in your muscles or in your mind?